Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, October 31st, 1973. A quiet Midwestern Halloween. Porch lights, pillowcases, 3 houses, and home. Among the kids was 9-year-old Lisa Ann French, dressed as a hobo, freckles painted on. She made 2 stops, smiled, said trick or treat, and walked toward the door of Gerald Turner, a familiar neighbor. Inside, the door clicked shut. Turner lured her into a back room. A few bad things happened, and the worst was that he stopped her breathing. He panicked, bagged her body and costume separately, and drove out to a rural road to dump them in the dark. By night's end, Lisa hadn't come home. Police were called. Volunteers fanned out. 4 days later, a farmer found 2 brown plastic bags off McCabe Road, one with her clothes, one with her body. The autopsy said asphyxia, with shock from sexual trauma not ruled out. Halloween was over. The town was not. Turner lived 3 doors away and had seen Lisa that night. He became an early suspect. Months of interviews followed, a shaky polygraph, fiber and hair comparisons, and a story that wouldn't hold still. 9 months later, Turner confessed. The lab work and his own words met in the middle. In 1975, a jury convicted him of second-degree murder and sex offenses. He received 38 years. Lisa Ann French, 1964 to 1973. The Halloween that lost its innocence, and the reason so many porch lights went dark afterward. St. Augusta, Minnesota, October 12, 2024. A chilly Saturday night, the kind made for haunted hayrides and cheap scares. At the Harvest of Horror, a small-town Halloween attraction, families waited in line for tractor rides through dark fields, where actors dressed as monsters jumped from the corn to make strangers scream. Among them was a 17-year-old volunteer, one of the scarers. His job was simple: chase the wagon, jump out, and vanish into the dark. He'd done it dozens of times. Only this time, the timing went wrong. As the next wagon approached, headlights glowing, music blaring, he darted from behind a tree, ran toward the trailer, and slipped on the wet grass. He fell forward, disappearing beneath the wagon's edge. The driver never saw him, just a flicker in the shadows, gone as quickly as he appeared. The trailer kept moving. The crowd screamed, on cue, exactly like they were supposed to. They thought it was part of the act. For a few seconds, laughter filled the air. People kept filming, until someone pointed to the ground. The laughter turned into silence, one by one. When the tractor finally halted, staff ran toward the scene, their flashlights cutting through fog and confusion. The boy lay still beneath the trailer. The laughter had already died. The hayride shut down that night. The fields cleared. Music silenced. Police called it a tragic accident. The organizers called it bad luck. Halloween called it something else. The night the horror became real.
Houston, Texas, Halloween night, 1974. A quiet suburb, the kind where nothing bad was supposed to happen. Ronald Clark O'Brien was a 30-year-old father, church deacon, and part-time model citizen. He had debts, a failing job, and a smile that covered both. That horrible night, his son, Timothy, and a few neighborhood kids trick-or-treating. Door to door, laughter, plastic pumpkins, a normal Halloween in every way. Then they reached a dark house. No lights, no answer, until someone finally opened the door. Minutes later, O'Brien handed out 5 pixie sticks, long paper tubes full of sugar. He said a neighbor had given them. Each child got 1. At home, Timothy asked for 1 more candy before bed. He picked the pixie sticks. The powder was clumpy, bitter, not sugar. Minutes later, he began vomiting, shaking. His father called for help, screaming that something was wrong. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital, lights flashing, sirens cutting through the night. It was too late. Timothy died before midnight. The next morning, police began knocking on doors. They collected every piece of candy from the children. Tests confirmed cyanide, enough to kill several adults in each tube. Every stick came from the same batch, all from Ronald O'Brien's own hand. And then came the motive. He'd taken out life insurance policies on his children and poisoned his own son for $40,000. It was shocking, unreal, almost cartoonishly evil. The media called him the Candyman. He was executed in 1984. Since then, every Halloween safety warning, every rumor about tainted candy has carried his ghost inside it.
Seoul, South Korea, October 29th, 2022. Halloween night, the first one after years of lockdown. The city was alive again. In Iteawon, a narrow neighborhood known for its bars and neon lights, people poured in by the tens of thousands. No cars, no space, just noise. By 10 p.m., more than 100,000 people filled a few city blocks. The alley beside the Hamilton Hotel became a funnel. One way in, no way out. The music kept playing, and the crowd kept pushing forward, not out of panic, as nowhere else to go. Then the air changed. The sound of cheering turned to shouting. People began to lean, one against another, and when one person slipped, 10 more followed. Bodies pressed against walls, feet left the ground. Those in the center couldn't move or even breathe. Faces turned blue in the glow of flashing lights. For a moment, nobody understood. People thought it was just chaos until they realized the crowd wasn't dancing anymore. It was collapsing. Calls flooded the police line. "People can't breathe." Officers ran toward the alley, but by the time they arrived, the front had already gone silent. Rescuers climbed over bodies, pulling survivors from piles stacked chest high. Wigs, masks, and angel wings covered in dust. A street built for nightlife, now filled with stillness. When it ended, 159 people were dead. Most of them were in their 20s. Seoul declared a week of mourning. The lights dimmed, the music stopped, and for the first time, Halloween went quiet.